Alright, so I'm going to be ranking every division in the NFL. Alright, now starting with the NFC North. Alright, what's the best team? I'm gonna say probably it's still gonna be the Lions. Just because like they didn't really get any worse and they were really good last year. I just I really don't see any other team being quite as good as them. But this is like a really stacked division. And I'm recording this after the first round of the draft, so I'm taking into account like the draft and stuff. So second best, I'm gonna. I feel like I want to pick the Packers, but like after the first round of the draft, I feel like I have to pick either the Vikings or the Bears. I'm gonna go with actually. I'm gonna go with the Bears actually as the second best because they got Caleb Williams now officially, and they got that other wide receiver or whatever. Honestly, I don't even know like I didn't look at all the draft picks. I just know like the really big ones. So I'm just going off of that. So I feel like Bears might be second best. They got another wide receiver in the first round, and they still have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. So I just feel like their offense is going to be super stacked. And then Packers, they didn't get any worse either, and they all got experience, so they're going to be better. As I said, this division's super stacked. So the Vikings, they're not even that bad. I feel like these are all above average teams in the NFL. But I have to put the Vikings last just because we don't know how good JJ McCarthy is going to be. And it's not like Caleb Williams where like we know how good he is. JJ McCarthy, he won a lot, but he's not quite as good as Caleb Williams. But I feel like Vikings will still probably have like a winning record, like 9-8 or something. And I think these all of these teams could very well make the playoffs. And then, all right, I'll just do the NFC South next, I guess. All right. Here, what's the best one? I'm just gonna put the Falcons. I don't like that they got that Michael Penix or whatever. That was absolutely just so stupid. I don't know why they would do that. But you know what? They're still good. They missed out, but it's not like they got worse. They could have just gotten better, but they didn't. But I think the Buccaneers are right behind them. Um, yeah, both of these teams very well can make the playoffs. I feel like it's more likely that the Falcons win the division, though. Uh, Buccaneers still have Baker, and he was good last year, so I feel like Bucks could also make the playoffs too, or win the division, but I think the Falcons probably will. And all right, Saints here. Um, they're not that good. Um, they need a better like O line, but I don't know if they're gonna do anything about that. I don't really know much about the Saints, but they're kind of mid. Obviously, the Panthers are last because they suck. Bryce Young sucks. Um, they kind of just like they're everybody's saying like, oh, Bryce Young's in a terrible situation. Like, no, he just sucks. Like, Bryce Young's never gonna be good. He's just too small. All right, NFC East. Hmm. I who am I gonna put at the start here? I feel like the Cowboys. They're always saying all in, but they never actually are. And the Eagles, I feel like they got a little bit better for during the draft, so I'm gonna have to put them at first. Um, then Cowboys at second, obviously, because the Giants and the Commanders both suck. But the Commanders, I think they got Jaden Daniels. So I'm gonna put them above the Giants. I think that's pretty good. Commanders, I mean, they got to work on their defense a little bit, but I feel like their offense is going to be a lot better this year, and they're going to be fun to watch at least. And the Giants just suck. I don't know why. they wouldn't get J.J. McCarthy. That was so stupid. But yeah, the Giants suck anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They're last in their division. NFC West. Hmm. I I am still gonna put the 49ers. I feel like the Rams are definitely a good second here, and then the Seahawks, I think, and then the Cardinals. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't really know what the Seahawks did during the draft, so you probably could put the Cardinals over the Seahawks, because I know that the Cardinals got Marvin Harrison Jr., but I don't know how good their defense is gonna be, and we don't know if Kyler Murray is gonna be as good as he was. But I'm still gonna put. I'm actually gonna put the Cardinals above the Seahawks because I just have more faith in them. I don't know who the Seahawks got during the draft, but if it's still Geno Smith, I mean they're fine. But this is also like a good division, so I just don't feel like the Seahawks are gonna do better than the Cardinals. So AFC North here. Who am I gonna put at the start? I feel like I have to put the Ravens. But I know that the Bengals probably they could have won that division if Joe Burrow didn't get injured. But I'm still gonna put the Ravens just because they're super stacked. And they got Derrick Henry, so it's even better. I just don't. I feel like they're gonna be a super team. So yeah, Bengals are also really good too. Both of these teams are most likely gonna make the playoffs. I mean, Ravens obviously are. I feel like the Bengals probably will too. Um, but the AFC is really stacked in general, so you never know. And then, all right, who am I gonna put next? I want to put the Steelers next, but the Browns are also really good too. I feel like I'm gonna put the Steelers above the Browns just because, they got Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. So I feel like, I mean, that's like the only part that they were missing on their team, right? The quarterback. I mean, they were super boring to watch last year, so last year I'd put the Steelers at the worst in the division. But, they got Russell Wilson now. And I know how it worked out for the Broncos, not great. But the Steelers have a good defense. And the the Broncos had a decent defense, I guess. It kind of like it wasn't as good as people thought though. Um yeah, I'm going to put the Steelers above the Browns. The Browns got rid of Joe Flacco, and I feel like they should have just kept him probably. Cuz I mean, he was their best quarterback that year. Nobody else played as good as him. So, I don't know why they'd get rid of Joe Flacco. I mean, maybe like salary cap, I don't know. But Deshaun Watson kind of ruined everything for him. Um, should have kept Baker because you know how he turned out with the Buccaneers. He's pretty good. Yeah, the Browns are just idiots. So they're last in their division. All right, AFC South. Um, best is the Texans, obviously. I mean, not obviously, I guess. The Jaguars are good too. And then I think I'm gonna have to put it in this order. Will Levis did okay, I guess. I think he'll be a good quarterback. But they got rid of Derrick, so that's the one thing that was saving them from like being a terrible team last year. Um, I mean, I think they were still pretty bad, but if they didn't have Derrick Henry, they'd be like even worse. But I feel like the Titans have to just wait a few years, and then they might be good again. But it's other teams' turns in their division, like the Texans, C.J. Stroud, Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, and then I feel like um, Anthony Richardson is going to be good on the Colts. So all these teams very well can make the playoffs. There's just so many good teams in the AFC. It's really hard to predict who's going to be in the playoffs. AFC West. They just got um honestly I don't even remember his name. I think it's like Xavier Worthy or something. He's like the fastest wide receiver in NFL history or something like that. So, and they got Hollywood Brown. That's like the only thing that was keeping them from being super good last year, and they still won the Super Bowl, even without like good receivers. So now that they have them, um, they they have a really good chance of three-peating. So I just feel like nobody else is gonna be as good as the Chiefs. Maybe in the entire league. Like there's so many other good teams, but the Chiefs, their defense didn't get any worse, I think. Well, I think they did lose one guy. Um, I don't remember his name though. I know he's like, I think he's a cornerback that they lost, but they still have Steve Spagnuolo and Jones. So, yep. And then second best in that division, I want to put the Chargers because of Jim Harbaugh, but they just got rid of everybody good on their team except for Justin Herbert. Like everybody good on the offense just left. So I can't put the Chargers there. I'm gonna put the Raiders because Gardner Minshew, he was good on the Colts. They almost made the playoffs last year. They were a game away from making the playoffs. They're a drive away, a fourth down conversion away from making the playoffs. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna put the Raiders because they got Gardner Minshew, and that was pretty much just a missing piece for the Raiders too. Quarterback. They have a good coach now, and they got Devontae Adams. Josh Jacobs is gone, I think, but I think they're gonna get somebody in the draft, or maybe they traded for somebody. I don't know, but I feel like the Raiders are gonna be good. They probably could make the playoffs, but as I said, it's hard to predict. Then I'm gonna put the Chargers because they got a good coach now at least, and they still have Justin Herbert, so that's good. I think they still have Joey Bosa, but they need to get some people back from like they traded Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Gerald Everett. I think they're all gone. Yeah. Maybe Austin Eckler too. They might have traded him away too. I think they did. Broncos suck. Um, they got one of the quarterbacks, one of the good quarterbacks in this draft. I can't remember which one they got. I think they got Bo Nix, I think. But you know what? They're so bad all around. It doesn't really even matter for the Broncos. And then this one's hard to predict. Um, New York Jets could be first because they have Aaron Rodgers and they're stacked in general. Bills could be first, maybe. Dolphins might be. Um, I don't know if Tua's the guy though. I mean, he's really good, but I don't know. He might not match in that system because like he's kind of got spaghetti arms, and like he just gets worn out so quick, and it makes him more like vulnerable to things like those injuries, like with the head, and because he's just not thinking straight. I guess I don't know, but I feel like Patriots are gonna be last because they still suck. I feel like this is a pretty good list here. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments.